Welcome to English Grammar 1, Unit 36, would. How to use would. Would is followed by the base form, or sometimes would is followed by have plus past participle. We use would or wouldn't when we imagine a situation or action. We think of something that is not real. When you speak about imagination or when you imagine a certain action and that is not real, that cannot be achieved, then you use would. Here, example number 1, it would be nice to buy a new car, but we can't afford it. Here, the part but we can't afford it makes the situation unreal or not real. So the imagination here is expressed by using would plus the base form, and we imagine now and we use would plus the base form. So the speaker says it would be nice to buy a new car, but we can't afford it. The second part, but we can't afford it, indicates that the situation is not real and this is imagination and it can't be achieved. That's why the speaker used would plus the base form, and he or she said it would be nice to buy a new car. Example number 2, I'd love to live by the sea. I am not going to sell my house, and I am not going to sell my house and move to the sea, and it is difficult, or it is very difficult. So this is imagination as well, and I can't live by the sea, and I say I'd love to live by the sea, and here I express imagination that is not real, so I use would plus the base form love, and the speaker says I'd love to live by the sea. Example number 3, shall I tell Chris what happened? B, no, I wouldn't say anything. No, I wouldn't say anything here means if I were you, I wouldn't say anything, and it is not real. I won't be in your position. Nobody can be in others' position, so it will be not real and imagination. That's why the speaker says I wouldn't say anything. Speaker used wouldn't plus the base form, and here wouldn't is negative. I wouldn't say anything if I were in your situation. We use would have plus past participle when we imagine situations or actions in the past. When the imagination is in the past, then we use would have plus past participle. For example, we say they helped us a lot. They helped us, and if you look at the verb helped here means in the past, so we speak about a past situation. I don't know what we would have done without their help. If here the speaker imagines that if they didn't help them, what would they do? That's why the speaker said, and that is imagination in the past. If they didn't help them in the past, so the imagination is in the past. That's why the speaker says, I don't know what we would have done without their help. Example number 2, I didn't tell Sam what happened, and here I didn't tell means in the past. So what the imagination that comes after that must be in the past. So the speaker says he wouldn't have been pleased. He wouldn't have been pleased. And here imagination in the past, wouldn't plus have plus past participle. If was, then becomes been. So it becomes he wouldn't have been pleased. Compare would do and would have done. We know we use would plus the base form for imagination now, for not real situations now and in the future, and would have plus past participle used for past imagination. Example number one, I would phone Sue, but I haven't got her number. I don't have her number, so it is a situation where I imagine that I phone Sue, but I don't have her number. It is not real situation. It is imagination, and it is now. That's why the speaker says, I would phone Sue. Speaker used would plus the base form. The other example, I would have phoned Sue, but I didn't have her number. Here in the second part we have didn't have means in the past, so the imagination must be in the past, and we must express it by using would plus have plus past participle. That's why the speaker says I would have phoned, as it is in the past. Another example, I am not going to invite them to the party. This is now or in the coming future. They wouldn't come anyway. Here the speaker speaks about imagination, and imagination now or in the future the speaker used wouldn't plus the base form. Wouldn't come anyway. Second example, I didn't invite them to the party, and here we have didn't in the past, so the imagination must be in the past. So the speaker says they wouldn't have come anyway. They wouldn't have come anyway. We often use would in sentences with if. If we speak about the conditional if, then there are many rules, but let's have the rule where we use would. First, for example, we have here, I would phone Sue if I had her number. Here we have a complex sentence. We have main clause and subordinate clause starts with if, and in the subordinate clause with if we have past simple, then we use in the main clause would plus the base form. That's why we say if I had her number, I would phone. If I had Sue's number, I would phone her. Or I would phone Sue if I had her number. We have here in the if clause, in the subordinate clause, we have past simple, then we use would plus the base form in the main clause. In the second part, if we have past perfect in the if clause or in the subordinate clause, then in the main clause we have would have plus past participle. So the sentence becomes like this: I would have phoned Sue if I had had. If I had means had past perfect of have. Had plus the past participle of have, it is another had, then it becomes had. So we have here, after if we have past perfect, and in the main clause we have would plus have plus past participle. Part B, compare will and would. I'll stay a bit longer. I have got plenty of time. This is the real situation and real situation, and here we express future. And real situation we use will plus the base form. because I have got plenty of time, that means I can stay. That's why the speaker says, I will stay a bit longer. But in the second example, I'd stay a bit longer, but I really have to go now. The speaker have or has, the speaker here has to go now. That means he doesn't have time to stay. So the wish to stay here is considered as imagination, and that is not real imagination, and he can't stay longer. That's why the speaker uses here would plus the base form. So it becomes I'd stay a bit longer, but I really have to go now. The other example, I'll phone Sue. I have got her number, means here is a real situation and the imagination can be achieved because the speaker has got her number. So it is real. The imagination here is real. So the speaker says, I'll phone Sue. In part 2, I'd phone Sue, but I haven't got her number. But I haven't got her number means the situation is not real. The imagination is not real. That's why the speaker here uses would plus phone plus the base form. So the speaker says, I would phone Sue, because this is not real. The speaker can't phone her because he doesn't have her number, or she doesn't have her number. Sometimes would and wouldn't is the past of will and want. Here we speak about would for present. Would plus the base form is used for present, and will plus the base form is used for present. And would followed by have plus past participle is used for the past, imagination in the past. And sometimes we get would or wouldn't as the past of will or want, but here we speak about reported speech. Suppose, for example, in the present, Tom says, I'll phone you on Sunday. So to report it, we say Tom said he would phone me on Sunday. The present changed into past. So will change into would. So we say Tom said he would phone me on Sunday. Example number 2, and I promise I won't be late. I will not be late means. And to report it, we say Anne promised that she wouldn't be late. Will not or won't changed into the past, then it becomes wouldn't. So the sentence becomes like this: Anne promised that she wouldn't be late. Example number 3, Liz, then the car won't start. The car won't start means the car will not start. And to report it, we say Liz was annoyed because her car wouldn't start. Won't start, will not start, changed into wouldn't, into the past. And the past of will not is would not. That's why it became like this, because her car wouldn't start. Part C, somebody wouldn't do something means he or she refused to do it. So we use wouldn't plus the base form also if we speak about someone or something that doesn't want or refused or reject to do something. I tried to warn him, and here we have tried. I tried to warn him, but he wouldn't listen to me. He wouldn't listen to me means he refused to listen to me. The car wouldn't start. It refused to start. The car refused to start. They tried, or he tried, the person tried to start the car, but it refused to start. So he said the car wouldn't start. So when somebody or something refuses to do something, we use wouldn't plus the base form. You can also use would when you talk about things that happened regularly in the past. Here we mean to say that we can use would when we speak about a past habit, a habit repeated or action repeated in the past. We can use would for it to express it. Means past simple, or in other words, we can replace it by used to. Used to plus the base form. When we were children, and here underline were means past. We lived by the sea, and underline lived means past. In summer, when we were children in summer, if the weather was fine, was in the past, we would all get up early and go for a swim. We have a habit that we would get up early and go for a swim. Means we used to get up early and go for a swim in the sea. We did this regularly in the past, a habit that was repeated in the past. Whenever Richard was angry, he would walk out of the room. Here we can say whenever Richard was angry, he used to walk out of the room. He had the habit of walking out of the room in the past when he was angry. And here if you look at was means in the past, and the habit he did is that he would walk out of the room. Then if we want to express a habit in the past, we can use would plus the base form, or we can use used to plus the base form. With this meaning, would is similar to used to. That's why we can say whenever Richard was angry, he used to walk out of the room, or he would walk out of the room. Then would is used similar to used to express a habit in the past. Both are used to express a habit in the past. Thank you. That's all.